Welcome to Old Iron Machine Works. In this video, I'm just doing some improvements in the shop. I'm trying to get my shop where I can start doing more filming and projects in it. Most of my videos, I'm using equipment at my day job. Um, Here, I'm just starting by modifying a TV mount I built years ago and gonna hang a 50-inch plasma on it, which is very heavy, older TV, but still works. And then I'll be doing some light modifications as far as with some LED lighting. The TV was actually too tall for the original mounting, so I had to lower it. And rather than drilling more anchor bolts in the concrete, I just modified the plate where it bolts to the wall. Here I'll be showing you how I made my own mounts to mount the LED tubes that I've been using now for years. Toggled, they're the direct wire. You get rid of the ballast and wire them direct. I use a couple different ones. They got a Daylight 5000K and a Daylight Deluxe 65,000K. What you have here is basically just a plastic liner with the LED strip running through the center. And on these here, this is the power in right here. So you basically just have your hot and common right here that lights it up. The other end is just a dummy to hold it up. The toggled lights that I use are more on a triangle shape, and these are just some regular old PVC elbows, 1-inch diameter, and I'm just going and right at the tip of the triangle on the bulbs, I'm just barely relieving. Those fittings will shove on tight, but this way they kind of slide on and lock and don't twist. Here I just got some gray plastic and I'm machining them. They'll fit inside the 1-inch elbow on it that holds the lights, and then you'll just screw those to whatever you want to attach the lights to, and there'll be a hole drilled through there for the wire to pass through. I got all of the gray solid plastic parts machined to the correct length. Now I need to machine the OD of them. So here I'm just taking a chunk of aluminum and I'm going to machine just a little fixture that I can sandwich between that and the tailstock, the solid plastic pieces. And here I'll just leave that little teeny tip on it, and that'll punch in and help keep the plastic in position when I'm machining it.
Here I'm going to stick a bearing over the tip on the live center because I don't want the tip on the tailstock end to lock into the plastic. I want it to just push nice and square on the aluminum piece that's in the chuck. So right there, you just seen where I shoved it in tight, and now I'm machining away. Certain materials like this, if you want to try to get it to where it machines and throws clear of your piece, it doesn't. You'll spend more time turning the thing on and off and on and off. So generally in cases like this, once I know my settings where I need to be, um, as you can see, I just kind of plow through and then I'll pull the part out from the inside of it. People always talk about hitting their mark. I'm a huge fan and always has been on taking a black marker and whenever I have my depth, I just put some marks on the dials, and pretty much when I hit my mark, it just means I'm lining up my good old magic marker. Here I'm just using the dial indicator just to tell me, hey, don't run your cutter into the side of the chuck.
All right, here I'm making my connections. And here I got my soldered connections down inside. And this is ready to install. This is a pretty good quality industrial wire that has 2 wires of ground. That'll work really nice for this.
Here I got the gray plastic anchor pieces screwed and installed in. And now to install the PVC to the anchor pins, it's just a matter of a small little pilot hole and screwing in a short little screw. As far as the electrical powering into the bulb, I thought about some different pin connectors and how I can, attach the power to it. And I just felt like soldering right to the pin, was most positive. And they say these bulbs last forever, so unless there's a malfunction or something faulty bulb, probably gonna outlive me. As far as the powering the entire lights, I got Romex going through the ceiling joists with electrical boxes, and the wires from the bulbs, go right up into the electrical boxes and make their connections.
Well, I kind of made a little mess. Got to do a little vacuuming up. But anyway, there's my light bar. Now I do have some on the back side of the beam. There we go. But I was getting some shadows on the front side. That's why I decided to put this one up. And then a while back I built this rack. The plan with this is where I can clamp the camera or my phone and try to get a few different better angles. Anyway, there's that setup.
Here's a section of the shop that I have my 2 K&T mills in, and I had an old 4 bulb fixture up above that hasn't been working for a while. So I pulled the entire light fixture down because I wanted to move it over right there over the K&T 2D mill. And anyway, I'll show more on rewiring it.
Let's see what these bulbs weigh. Right there, what is it? 6 to 7 ounces, I believe. So as you can see, they really don't weigh anything. Okay, ballasts are no longer needed anymore. Okay, so unboxing one set of 2 bulbs. Comes with 2 bulbs and kind of a retrofit kit. You need power on each side of the pin on one side of the bulb. Hot, common. The original wiring here, fortunately enough, it does have 2 wires separated, one to each side. So all this has to go where it's connecting one side to the other. You can use that as long as you connect this one to that side of the probe and that one to that side of the probe. So that'll actually power both sides up. You just basically want to end up with hot on one side, common on the other on every one of these. The other side, all this wire gets cut off. These aren't used for anything other than just supporting the end of the bulb. This one was broke. The kit also comes with the dummy ends, and generally speaking, they tend to work on most of the lights that I've used so far. And it does pop in there pretty good. And then that little tab right there, you know, keeps it from pushing out. So anyway, but otherwise I'm going to use as much as existing as I can. Now I'll just change some wires around and then come back. Okay, I'm ready to kind of tie up some of these wires here, but I thought I'd just go over it again real quick. I am using the original ends that holds the bulbs. If you got those bulbs, they come with these that you can swap out, and as you can see there, you have hot, common, hot on one side, common on the other. If you would change all four of those, you would just tie all the blacks together, all the whites together. Blacks would be your hot, whites would be your common. Since I'm using the original holders and the wiring, you can see here where there's black and yellow, black and yellow. The black wires jump all the way across the bottom, all the way over, and powers this side. So basically, this yellow wire here is going to power up 2 lights. On these here, I'm just going to take one of the reds, one will be hot, common, and I'll take one of the blues, and I'll tie it in with one of the yellows. Doesn't make a difference which one. So basically, I'll have the yellow, red, blue as one, and I will have these as a second wire. And then you'll run a ground to the box somewhere where you can ground the box out, and then ready to go. Okay, I got a temporary power cord hooked to it. Before I put the center cover on, well, let's throw some power and see what happens. Voila. And then I did the same thing with this light. I pulled all the bulbs out of it and put the exact same LEDs in it. And then I added a couple round ones that will light up the Bridgeport.
Here I'm making some standoffs for some light fixtures I'm making that will go on the side of some 3-inch channel that's just above the garage door where I store some lumber up above there. And these will just kind of space the lights out a little bit. It's very impressive how much light the LEDs do put out. There's several replacement bulbs. Some are designed to just go right in and leave the ballasts in. Some will power on both sides. I do like this toggled brand. You know, the power is only on one side, and they do not have glass in them. Some have glass with a little plastic shield. But in this application, the garage door will just clear right under it, and I didn't have any fixtures for it, and you know, they just worked out really well. More shop improvements in the future. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to check out my video. Thumbs up are nice, and if you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.